vast land of Indonesia now is not in use of paddy plantation, but we are going to change it. In some remote region, we change it into rice producing field. And by doing this, Indonesian rice will meet the demand. Rice production will meet the demand and will reach surplus. By that time, I think why I'm talking to, I talked in favor of free trade, because now in China, the cost of production of rice is increasing. And we estimated that the rice from China from Indonesia, if we can produce it with our technology, will be cheaper than what we produce in China. That means by free trade, we can sell the rice produced in Indonesia to be enjoyed by the Chinese people. But by now, we are faced with some political regulation, like Indonesia imposed a regulation on rice export, and China still do not import much till now. And so my question goes to especially Mr. Rizal about whether Indonesia is willing to export rice produced by the technology in cooperation with China. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all my question. Thank you very much.
Selamat pagi, nama saya Aristi from Mustafa University. This question is refers to Chancellor Mr. Liu. As Mr. Liu already stated that China has a peaceful development for its foreign policy. As we know that for mutual respect, non-hegemony, and equality principle and win-win solutions. But exactly what China has taken steps. It exactly leads to new hegemony in the international stage. And the question is how China will act towards today's suspicions and ensure that China is really make its foreign policy toward peaceful development and do not want to treat any kind of any countries in this international stage with its rising. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Bagus from Political Science Department of Universitas Indonesia. First, I want to say the only thing I love about China is the food. The Peking duck is so delicious. And here comes the question. It's more like a statement than a question. So you said that it's written in your constitution that China's ongoing economy is not to hegemon other countries, because you want to share feelings to those countries who have suffered from it. Well, it's so sweet from you, sir, but I don't think we are ready for that. My question is, do you think with the implementation of the China and Asia Free Trade Agreement, that's not a hegemony, because I don't think our people is ready for that. So when we started this agreement, we were not equal yet. You might have those skilled people who construct cars, toys for my brothers, motorbikes, and so on and so forth, but we don't. So tell me, where is the fairness of that? You could say that with the free trade agreement, Indonesia's economic growth is up to 6.7% or so per year. Well, sir, I'll tell you, that's only a number. But the reality is, the poorer gets poorer, and our production skill is being murdered. So I say, we'll always be your little dog. Thank you.
So the first question about how China would use this economic development to influence the other countries. That the fact is China is really developing very fast, and the economy has grown consistently at about 10% for 30 years. Our economy is getting stronger, but we still have our problems because this, we don't have time to discuss. Sometimes one question could take 1 or 2 hours. Like some topic like democracy, people have talking about for 1,000 years. No time to talk too much. We just face the reality and go. For the economic side, is that the China is trying to play its role in G20 or world economic structure. But the world is not so fair because it's not the creations of our emerging economies. It's set by others, by the big powers. With our increase of power, like Indonesia and China, we could have our effect in this kind of organization so that we can improve a little bit about the fairness in making international rules and regulations in the playground, so we can update a little bit with them. They are still on the higher level. We are still in the lower level. That's the reality. You can't change overnight, but it takes time for us to strive to do our best with our combined power. Maybe someday we got equality. We don't want superiority. We want just equality. Yes, that's one thing. Another thing is that China's economic development is good news to our neighbors, because our policy is that to enrich our neighbors, make peaceful and friendly with our neighbors. That's our policy. We are not just a country who want to just take without giving. We, have our philosophy in the world, all 2,000 years ago, that our saints already tell us that to deal with people, you need to give and take. It doesn't mean that you have only, you take without giving. And our policy is really try to reach a win-win situation with our neighbors so that we can make the economic bigger and to benefit the whole region or even the whole world, because we are human beings. Why we exist in this world? We want to make better, living standard. We want to hire noble ideas, and we want to contribute to the world. We are not just political animal, eat and die. We are not just animals, eat and die. We are political animals. We have our aspirations. We have our, we have our visions. We want to live peacefully and together. Why use your economic power to bully us? No, that's not our policy. Actually, sometimes when you are big, some smaller people are feeling threatened. That is the reality. That is your feeling, But sometimes, in my view, the bigger sometimes are bullied by the smaller. Because people have a sympathy over the weak, over the smaller. When there is a big guy, 2 meters high, and fight with a guy with 1 meter wide, whatever the reason there is, we all come to the small one. Oh, you don't bully the small one. But actually, the truth is not with the small one. It's with the big. You need to understand the logic. This kind of logic, in other countries, as we know that Western countries, they developed their economies basically, I cannot say basically through colonialism. Their money, their materials, they get through grabbing, invasion, expansion. That's their logic. They say because China is getting better, you will also grab and expand, and expanding by new colonialism. No, their logic is wrong. Their logic is wrong, We are a socialist country. We are a peace-loving country. If you read China 2,000, 5,000 years ago, its history, we never invade others, So the come back to the point is that the revitalization of China, that doesn't mean that we'll use our power to bully others. For us, China has suffered colonialism or semi-colonialism for a long time. We don't want to mention too much about history, this part of history, because some others, they don't like to listen to this. If you say too much and say, you all the time to mention about your past, look at the future. Yes, we are looking in the future, but we have lessons to learn. Like Indonesia, you have lessons to learn from your 315 years of colonialism. You are exploited. Your materials, your rich resources are so cheaply to the West. That your people suffer their, killings, you have this kind. We don't want to mention too much, but sometimes a lot of people challenge us. We are forced to tell this story. Because we have the same sufferings with the Indonesian people. We have the same, history to learn. We want to change the course. We want to change the course. We won't be the same as the colonialism. We are a new brand. We are a new brand and a better brand. So don't be afraid of the so-called hegemony. We firmly opposed to hegemony. Since Nixon came to China, 1972, when we sit together, the first sentence we use, we say that we are firmly opposed to your hegemony. Why? If we do that, we will be against, violate our constitution, because maybe this is the only constitution in the world in which hegemony against hegemony is written there. I am not a constitutional expert, but you may try the internet or other ways to do your academic work, homework, to check whether China is the first country ever written, ever write a word article anti-hegemony in its constitution. I'm sure you'll find the result with me the same one. the same one. So but another thing I want to tell you that is still about the mentality and the mindset. I like SBY's speech in the Australia Parliament very much. Recently, the UN ambassador to the US, Dino Adajao, they had a kind of the launching ceremony of the speech made by your president. It's a beautiful speech, a really beautiful speech, and a lot of speeches. I read everyone, and I think the one written on the occasion of Australia, when we visit Australia, is among the best. The Congress are the best, because relations between Australia and Indonesia also have up and down. But the president emphasized just one word: mindset. Change your mindset. The world has changed. Australia has changed. New Zealand changed. China has changed. Don't go back to the old mentality. I don't want to mention Cold War mentality, but a lot of people have that mentality up to now. When they mention everything, the first thing that comes to their mind is Cold War mentality, because they have no other better mentality. They have not yet changed to a new brand of mentality. So mindset and mentality are very important. You said that Indonesia, back to your question, you said that in Indonesia, you are in the lower level, you can't catch up. China is a much lower level than you 30 years ago. When our Premier Turunji visited Indonesia in 1990s, he was shocked to learn Indonesia is so great. In Jakarta, it's so big. You have so much long highways, high building. At that time, China has nothing, Beijing has nothing, very small. But with time, with efforts, with teamwork, we reach here. We reach this level. I think it's time of mentality. You need to change from the lower level to a higher level. There is no free lunch. You just wait. You don't move. Just wait for me. There is no such a logic. They move, you move. But you move faster than them. And then over time, 10 or 20 years, you catch up. But he just said, you stop, you let us to catch up. We do our job slowly but surely. Sorry, no surely, if you are too slowly. Thank you very much.
Economy is also growing, and Indonesia now is becoming the middle income country. But I also share with the Mr. Liu that we need to move further. Our economy is not only stopped or stagnant, what we call it as the middle income trap. So our economy was also targeting to have higher economic growth beyond 6%. So we expected to have the end of the present government's term have the economy is above 6%. So we are aiming to have 7% economic growth. That we are gradually increased. We were suffering from the financial crisis in 1998. Now we are starting to moving ahead. And I just returned from Singapore last week and meet with the Minister of Trade and Industry. Minister Lim said that Indonesia is becoming the biggest trading partner for Singapore. Indonesia replacing United States. So I think that's I think indicating that Indonesia is growing, Indonesia is becoming important in the region. And as predicted by some many economists, that the Indonesia share with the China and India will be the top 4 of the economy in the world. Indonesia now is already being member of the G20. Now Indonesian economy is joining the so-called the country with